So, friends, I request all of you to be seated so that we'll be able to commence the session. I welcome you all to this post-lunch session. This session will be dealt by CA Satish Saraf from Hyderabad, and the topic is rectification of omissions and commissions. And also, we will have an interactive session. Now, may I request the session speaker, CA Satish Saraf, to please come onto the desk. I request CA Kiran from Rajamandri branch to welcome the speaker with a book bouquet. Yes, we are happy that people from other places have also attended this session from Rajahmundry into Chirala, Ongole, Nellore. So from 5 or 6 places, members have attended this session, and we are very much happy that you have joined us on this 2 day conference. So, friends, before the speaker takes up the session, let me say a few words about the speaker. He is a practicing chartered accountant from 1999, and he has an experience of 24 years in various areas, and also he specializes in GST. He is a graduate of commerce and a graduate of law from Usmania University, also the fellow member of ICAI. He is the director of HS Tax Advisory Private Limited and also a partner of Saraf Satish and Co. Chartered Accountants. He was coordinator for technical guide on sale tax in the state of Andhra Pradesh, published by ICAI in the year 2000. He was also a convener of Hyderabad Study Group of GST, and that was constituted by Indirect Tax Committee of ICA. This group has prepared a part of background material on GST law, which is used for the purpose of training the officers of GST, and it was published by ICA. Friends, not only for the training of these officers, but also that background material will be very much useful for chartered accountants also. It is available as a free download from Indirect Tax Committee website of ICA, and also you can order a physical copy with the CDS portal of ICA. It will be very much useful. And we are very much happy that our speaker is also a contributor to that background material. And also he was on the managing committee of Hyderabad branch during the years 2007 to 10. And during his tenure at Sikasa of Hyderabad branch, he has won a Best Branch Award, and also he was involved in identification of GST faculty for Indirect Tax Committee of ICI. He has presented more than 300 technical papers at various forums, including national conferences, mega conferences, corporate forums, and other seminars across the country. And his article titled GST Tool for Development of Society, published in the Chartered Accountant Journal of ICA in the December 2021 edition. And also, he is a regular columnist with Enodu for a GST column. He represented ICA in Telangana State GST Grievance Redressal Committee for the years 2020 and 21, and also a special invitee at Indirect Tax Committee of Federation of Telangana Chamber of Commerce and Industry for the periods from 21-22 to 23-24, and he recently co-authored a book on GST for commerce graduates of Usmania University titled Theory and Practice of GST. He is a member of the group which has helped the BOS for syllabus for the new curriculum. And also the group is involved in preparation of study material for CS students, inter and final. He is a member of Hyderabad One Group of Tax Audit Quality Review Group, TAQRB of ICA, and a special invitee to GST and IDC Committee of ICA for the year 23-24. With this brief, I present the floor to the speaker for his deliberation.
Good afternoon, one and all. At the outset, I thank Vijayawada branch and the India Tax Committee of ICI for giving this opportunity to talk on the subject of rectification of omissions and commissions in the GST. Sudhir, my predecessor speaker, was blessed because he has set of rules, set of provisions, set of notifications, and whatnot. He has everything tailor-made. Only he has to put it at one place and deliver the presentation. But for me, the topic is given in such a that I have to scout the entire GST law to find how to rectify the mistakes. It is not mentioned or it is available at one place. And we need to understand what practically is happening and what law says. And from the law, for a particular situation which is practically happening or happened, to how to rectify and whether there is any timeline to do that, whether law permits or not, whether the rectification is within the framework of law or not. So, a lot of challenges with respect to this presentation I have faced. But maybe what kind of education I'm going to give you or what kind of knowledge I'm going to transfer to you. But this paper has made me to learn a lot of things in GST. It is sure for that. Thanks to Vijayawada branch for making me to educate or enrich myself with the subject. This is not a new thing or where we have not advised any client on how to rectify your mistake, all these things, but putting them at one place and understanding the flow of the transactions and how finally it should reflect in your GSTR 9 and 9C and also in your financial statements and without hampering, without causing much difficulty to the trade by payment of penalties and huge interest. So, how to, in a given situation with a minimal damage to the trade, how best efforts we can put and rectify the omissions or commission. That is what is I'm going to deliberate for the next 2 hours. I have brought only 15 slides with me. Out of that, four are headings, that is slides like this. So remove that, remaining are 11 slides. So very small and sweet presentation. Don't worry for that. I'm not going to take much of your time. And I'm not going to confuse you with any case law. There is no case law in my presentation. Only facts, law, and what is the solution. So any consultant or any chartered accountant who is into compliance practice, for him this session is. So how many of you are in compliance practice? So very well. So I'm not into compliance. I'm blessed. I'm not into compliance practice. And in the morning, Sudhir was saying that, do you have any real estate client with you? I said, no, I don't have any real estate client because no real estate client to me. Because my approach is different, Sudhir's approach is different. So my kind of approach, no real estate client will come and do that burning of his fingers. So, there is a reason I don't have any real estate client. But whatever Sudhir told is only one part of the story. There is always a other part of story. I'll not venture into Sudhir topic, and I don't want to prove that Sudhir is wrong. Sudhir is right, but whether the levy is as per constitution, that basic question Sudhir has not. Because I go into those details, no clients come. Yeah. And nobody want to take the risk. When we win the case, we don't. How much time it will take, we don't. So service definition, anything other than goods. It is not everything. It is anything. So there is a lot of difference between everything and anything. So with this kind of differentiations, we work on that. So whenever you are into litigation practice, you have to practice like this. If there is a comma, what is the difference? If it is a full stop, what is it? One section, if you look at section 25, talks about the procedure for registration. If you look at the definition, it talks about two kinds of persons. One is registered person, another is taxable person. So taxable person is a broader concept and registered person is a narrow concept. So like that, we think and we bring a lot of things from the law and we fight across the various forms. So this is the reason little clients will come to me, but they'll be having huge stakes. If I have 10 clients and running 10 files, then I'm happy with it. I don't want 100 clients or 1,000 clients because those 10 clients use my knowledge, my wisdom. I don't want to put into 1,000 clients and earn money. No, that is not the criteria. So rectification of omissions and commissions in GST. In the entire law, these three words now have not been defined. The next source for us to find is General Clauses Act. General Clauses Act also does not define these three terms. Then Constitution also not define these three terms. Then how to understand? Then we have to go to dictionary meaning or any previous court decisions. So the best dictionary for a legal understanding is Black's Law Dictionary. Black's Law Dictionary. So from Black's Law Dictionary, I have taken the meaning of what is rectification, what is commission, what is omission. So what is given in those definitions may not be suitable to us. We have to draw a conclusion from those words. Clear? Rectification, Black's Law Dictionary defines a court's equity correction of a contractual term that is misstated, the judicial alteration of a written contract to make it conform to the true intention of the parties when, in the original form, it does not reflect the intention. As a equitable remedy, the courts alter the terms as written so as to express the true intentions of the parties. The court might do this when the rent is wrongly recorded as lease or when the area of land is incorrectly cited in a deed. So this is an example and there is the definition given by the Black's Law. So from this definition, what is the meaning of rectification for our understanding? Is that something has done which is against the law, which you are not required to do or which you are supposed to do, but you have not done. So to rectify, to go into the what the law expect us from to do, to go to that level, then we have to follow the process of rectification. That is what the meaning I am deriving from that. All agree with it? Yes, thank you. So we are on the same page. Then omission, the Black's Law Dictionary defines the failure to do something that is legally required, a non-occurrence that involves the breach of legal duty to take positive action. It takes the form of either a forbearance or a omission, also termed as act of omission. So what you are required to do, if does not do that, well, I am required to reverse input tax credit as per rule 42 and 43. If I does not do that, then if I want to rectify my original position, then what happens? That's what is generally we understand as an omission. So it is not intentional or unintentional. There is an omission. In books of accounts, we have recorded certain transaction, but by omission, we have not reported those transactions in our GSTR 1 return, GSTR 3B return, GSTR 9 return, GSTR 9C. So what to do, at what stage we are, that is more important. Whether the proceedings are 73, 74 or the proceedings are under section 67, that is search and seizure, whether the proceedings are before the Commissioner of Appeals or the proceedings are before the tribunal, at what stage we are, that is more important. When it is a matter before the appellate authorities, then we don't have the choice to rectify it. Only to accept the whatever the authority says. But before the 73, 74 or section 65, that is audit, or maybe under section 44, the annual return, at that time we can rectify those omissions and pay along with interest or applicable penalty, then we can rectify. So what is law expecting to do by a taxable person or a registered person if you want to go into the original position? So God is searching for you, place A, you are place B. So how can the God will shower his blessings on? If you make the effort to reach place A, then God definitely will shower blessings on. This is what we have to require to do. So actually, we have to be in the place A, but we are now in place B. So we have to make a travel to place A. That's all. For doing this travel, what is the cost involvement? How to go there? Whether to take a flight or by bus or by walk or by cycle or a motorcycle, then that is what we are going to decide in the end of the process. So already we have completed 2 slides out of 11. Next, we have what is commission. The act of doing or perpetrating as a crime. In common understanding, doing an act knowingly or unknowingly, intentionally or unintentionally, which may result into mistake or this is my understanding. It is not as per Black's law dictionary. This is Black's dictionary. This the act of doing or perpetrating to commit a crime is what is commission. So you are not eligible to take the crime, but taken the crime. That is commission, right? You are supposed to maintain books of account, but you have failed to maintain. That is omission. Doing an act, whether voluntary or not, intention or unintentionally, that may result into wrong or wrong. That is commission. Under GST law, it is understood. Maybe in CRPC, commissioning may take a different shape, different form. But the income tax commission may takes a different shape and form. But for GST, this is what we understand. Because once the things are finalized, it may be tribunal or high court or maybe at 73, 74 adjudication, till that time we have time to rectify ourselves. Law also designed in such a way. But nowhere it is said that this is the way you have to rectify. We have to get our own conclusions. Then so there are no straightforward sections, rules, forms, procedures which are defined for the purpose of rectification of omissions or commissions. So then we have to search for the entire act, entire rules, then corresponding circulars, corresponding notifications, and the removal of difficulty orders. Looking into all those things, there are certain 11, 14 to 15 sections or 14, 15 things which are there in the entire law which will help us to rectify the mistakes. There are two kinds of rectifications here. One is rectification by the department itself for the mistakes done by them. Other part is mistakes done by the taxpayer. So let us look into the what kind of rectifications can be made by the department. So under Rule 142.7, if any order is issued by the officer, then on his own motion, he can rectify under Rule 142. So Rule 142 takes care of how many sections? 56 onwards, it takes care of all the things. All for that, all these sections till 73, 74, for all those sections, this is the procedure to be followed for issue of the notice. So if any issue of notice or order or communication or decree that contains any mistakes, under these three provisions, that is Rule 142, sub Rule 7, and Section 102, and Section 161. So this is for the department to rectify their mistakes. Let us not go into that. That is that because it is not our business. And we are not assembled for learning how department can rectify their mistakes. Let them bother for their. So let us come into the taxpayer, how he can rectify his mistakes. These are the few 8 plus 3, 11 provisions are there in the statute. I think we have completed 7 slides or 6 slides. I'm leaving this presentation here only. You can easily take it. Don't deviate from the subject. So for the taxpayer to enable, these are the provisions which enable the taxpayer to rectify his mistakes. Let us spend another 15 to 20 minutes on this slide. Then we'll go into further. Section 16 talks about the conditions for availment of input tax credit. 16 subsection 4 says that in case the input tax credit has to be claimed in the month in which you are eligible by fulfilling conditions of section 16 subsection 1, 2 and 3. Yes. 3. So by fulfilling those conditions specified in section 16.1, 16.2, 16.3, that is, you must be a registered person. He should be in the possession of tax invoice. He should or debit note or any tax paying document, or he should be in the possession of or receive the goods or services. Then the supplier, he has paid the consideration to the supplier within 180 days from the date of invoice. And the supplier has uploaded that information in his GSTR1, which is reflected in GSTR2A or 2B of the recipient. And then this recipient has filed GSTR 3B under section 39. So these are the conditions which one has to compulsory fulfill. Once you fulfill these conditions, if still there is a omission for non-claiming or non-availing of input tax credit, then 16 subsection 4 come to the rescue of the taxpayer. Beautiful provision. It is a blessing in disguise. It says after the end of the financial year, till November 30th or before filing the annual return, whichever is earlier, till that date for the previous financial year, you can claim the input tax credit. So for the month of April 22, you have time till November 24, 23. 23. So how much time you have? Almost 18 months. What a beautiful provision it is. Isn't it or not? So section 16 subsection 4 enables you to take the input tax credit till the next end of after the end of the financial year till the November 30th or due date of for submission date of submission of the annual return, whichever is there. So
Is it submission or due date?
submission, not due date. So due date is that this is December. If that is the intention, they could have mentioned that it was December. So it is date of filing. So this state any omission or commission found by the taxable person in his relating to input tax credit that can be done before this date. This is section 16 subsection 4 enables for that to make a rectification of his omission. Then section 34 subsection 2, which talks about the credit notes and debit notes. Section 34 talks about debit notes and credit notes. Section 34 subsection 1 talks about the debit notes. And under that section, there is no time limit for issuance of the debit. Even after 30 years, you want to issue, you can issue. There is no restriction. But when it comes to the credit note, because the exchequer revenue will get reduced by way of issuing the credit note, so they want to put a restriction on timelines. Similarly, under section 16 subsection 4, if you enable the taxpayer to perpetually claim his input tax credit, then the revenue may lose. We can have a contrary argument also for section 16 subsection 4. If you look at section 9 and section 34 subsection 2, 1, then there is no time limit. Yes. There is no time limit. But for issue of credit note, there is a time limit. For input tax credit, there is a time. What is this inconsistency? For the government to get revenue, there is no time limit. For the government to give me benefit, then there is a time limit. If you go to the section 9, article 19, 1G of the Constitution of India, which talks about the right to trade, fundamental right to trade. So under that, Supreme Court has held that the fiscal law can have a reasonable restriction for under the right to trade. Under Article 19 1G, there can be a reasonable restriction in the fiscal law, but it cannot be unreasonable. So looking at section 16 subsection 4, that can be considered as section 16 subsection 1, subsection 2, subsection 3 puts a lot of conditions. They are reasonable. Then when coming to section 16 subsection 4, it is unreasonable. This point one need to knock the doors of Supreme. We'll get the relief. And that section will be struck down from the statute. No doubt. But one has to knock the door. Can Satish go and knock the doors of Supreme Court? No. Unless Satish is aggrieved, he cannot go. You can go, you cannot. Each one of us cannot go there unless we are aggrieved. So only a taxable person can challenge if he is aggrieved. So section 34.2 for credit notes, there is a time limit to be issued. The credit note has to be issued in the month in which it is prepared or it is issued. So if I issue a credit note in the month of May 22, then I have to reflect that credit note in the month of May 22 GSTR 3B only and the GSTR 1 of that May 22. I made a mistake or I have not included that in my GSTR 1 and 3. Or there may be a situation that for 22 to 23 financial year, I am required to issue a credit note, but I have not issued. So by till what time I can issue credit note? 16, 37, 34 to say that before the November 30th of the after the financial year, after the end of the financial year, before 30th November or date of filing of annual return, before that date you can issue credit note for the previous financial year, that it says. But there is a rider, still there is a it says unless the recipient of the credit note reverses the input tax credit relative to that credit note, the supplier cannot reduce his liability. Sir, this law, what is saying, I'm explaining you practically, it may not be possible. So, the recipient, say in the month of November, say September month return, our reported the transaction in GSTR1 and that came to the notice of the recipient and in his GSTR3B, he has to reduce it. He has reduced it on 20th. But I have filed my GSTR3B on 19th. Still violation of section 34 subsection. That is what the officer looks into. Ultimately, that is reversed. They don't say that. On 19th, he has not reversed. You are not eligible. That is the argument by the DP. They don't know that section 34 subsection 2 will not stand. Because now it's only 6 years, baby. A long journey it has to be. That is hope for the best. Section 37 talks about the filing of GSTR1 return, outward supply return. 37 subsection 3 says that any omission or wrong reporting in GSTR1 return that can be rectified till November or actual date of filing of annual return, whichever is earlier. That is the section 37 subsection 1 talks about GSTR1. And similarly, section 39 subsection 9 talks about GSTR3B. If there is a mistake in GSTR3B return of the previous financial year, that can be rectified till the 39.9 and 37.3 talks about rectification before 30th November. Is it with interest or without interest? It is with interest. With interest. The department makes an inquiry and if they order pass an order, then even penalty also is up. Then we will move to section 44. Section 44 deals with filing of annual return and a reconciliation statement in GSTR 9 and 9. So, Satish, are you getting mad? Why you are included section 44 in the enablers for the taxpayer? No, there is a final opportunity given to any registered person to rectify his mistakes. So, while filing GSTR 9 also, you have missed the bus of November 30th. You have missed the bus of November 30th. But still, Till 31st December, you have an option to rectify by filing GSTR 9. So in your GSTR 1 return, your liability shown as 50 lakhs of rupees, but actually if it is as per books 52 lakhs of rupees, you can very much increase your outward supplies in GSTR 9 and pay by way of DRC 03. Possible? So section 44 is also one kind of enabler for rectification. Section does not never speaks directly. You have to make a conclusion. And section 65 always department audit. Whenever the officer finds a mistake in our returns, and when he compares the data with the returns and the financial statements or maybe books of accounts or any other information which the department is in having the possession, in that situation, first the officer will issue what? Spot memo. 65. There is a journey to be made for reaching 73. There is a time lag. It will take another 4 to 5 months to reach. By concluding 65, if the department want to invoke 74, it will take minimum 3 to 4 months. Because CMC meeting has to be taken place and government commissioner approvals are required, joint commissioner approvals are required, it will take some time. So in audit, the officer has found certain mistakes. He issues spot memo and gives an opportunity to pay and settle the issue. Even though the officer has at that stage he is under section 65 only, he is not ventured into 73 or 74. He has not established there is a suppression. He has not established there is a fraud. He has not established there is a misstatement of facts. So we are not, let us not go into 73, 74. We are still in 65 department audit. So he issues a spot memo. In spot memo, he said that these are the 5 issues on which if he does not pay by 3 or 4 days or 1 week, then I am going to initiate the further proceedings he communicates to you. Then that is the best opportunity to rectify. You pay tax and interest, no penalty. No penalty. For spot till spot memo, there is no penalty. If it does not comply to the spot memo and if it does not agree to the spot memo and you want to contest it, then the department will go for the and issue a final order. In central department, state they don't follow any procedures. They are supreme. They are above the everyone. Even they are above the Brahma, above Vishnu, above Shiva, and above everyone. They have their own set of procedures. So this spot memo is issued. Out of that, there are 5 issues. We agree with the 2 issues, then we pay the tax and interest. Then those 2 issues will be dropped at spot memo stage only. It will not go to final auditing. And again, this will be placed before the CMC meeting, where commissioners will meet and they'll discuss whether this is a fit case or not, whether there is any ruling against this provision. All these things they examine, and those commissioners will give consent to go further and initiate the further proceedings. So then the department will issue a DRC 01A. And then they'll initiate, will inform you whether they are going for 73 or 74. This is how the spot memo and the central department will work. Even if we have attended the audit of State Department, they don't have any habit of issuing spot memo. They say that across the table, this we are not agreeing. If you pay it, we'll drop it. This is like a bargain between father and son, or maybe bride and bridegroom's parents. It is not an official or formal meeting. It is only an informal meeting that take place with the State Department. And the section 73, 74 is also a good opportunity to reduce or mitigate or get a benefit of non-levy of penalty. So if there is a showcase notice under 73 issued, if you pay the tax along with the interest within 30 days of the issue of the notice, then there is no penalty. In case of 73, 74, if it is within 30 days, only 10% penalty will be paid. The remaining will be waived off. So these are one of the opportunity where one can utilize Even you have missed the bus of rectification in GST subsequent months, rectification in 9, rectification during audit, rectification in GST are 990, fine opportunity you have lost, but still there is opportunity in 73, 74 also. These also can be exercised and taken care. And Section 77 of the CGST Act, read with Section 17 of the IGST Act, it gives us the one way of rectification of our omissions. Say a particular transaction is liable to IGST, but we understood as liable to CGST plus SGST. We have paid the tax under the CGST, LGST, treating it as an intrastate transaction. Agreed? Later, it has come to our notice. It is come to our notice maybe by during the annual return, or maybe by 65 audit, or maybe by the department by way of a communication, or maybe by way of 73, 74 notice. So, however, you come to know that, the moment you came to know that in that month you have to pay the correct tax. For paying of the correct tax, there is no penalty, there is no interest because tax already is paid. Once you pay the correct tax, then you can claim refund of the wrongly paid tax. If it is a possibility to adjust that liability or that input in your subsequent month return, no problem. It is not possible, then you have to go for a refund. Refund will be granted because you have paid the correct tax and the excess tax you can take it for the as a refund. In section 161 of the CGST Act says that rectification of mistakes apparent on record. Any decision, proceedings, order, notice, communication. These 5 things it talks. Decision, order, communication, notice, proceedings. In these 5 things, if you as a registered person finds any mistake apparent on the record, the officer recorded 2 crores plus 2 crores as 6 crores, but it should be as 4 crores only. If you find that mistake within 3 months from the date of the order or communication or decision or the notice, if you take it to the notice of the officer under section 161, that officer has to pass the order within 3 months from that application. Maximum time is 6 months from the date of order. Officer notices himself, for him 6 months time is given. For the taxable person, 3 months time is. And for certain silly mistakes, 2 plus 2 is equal to 5 if it is mentioned. For those arithmetical mistakes, there is no time. And this section 161 also specifically say that in case the liability of a registered person is getting increased, the principles of natural justice have to be followed. That means a letter to be sent, a personal hearing has to be granted, then you have to issue a fresh order rectifying under section 161. So this is one of the source for rectification of our mistakes. Then you have circular number 26 bar 26 bar 2017 dated 29th December 2017. This circular, before that, there is one more circular was issued. Circular number, Central Tax Circular number 7 bar 2017 dated 14th August 2017. That circular was superseded by this circular. So that is not in record as of today. So let us not discuss about that. This circular is very beautiful piece of legislature. This circular says that 6 kinds of mistakes how that can be rectified are given in this chapter. If you have over-reported the liability, if you have under-reported the liability, if you have over-claimed the input tax credit, if you have under-claimed the input tax, you have overpaid the tax, you are short-paid the tax. So in this situation, 6 scenarios, in a different stages, you have saved the GST and 3B, but not submitted. Before set-off of liability, how it can be rectified. After setting off the liability, before filing, how it can be rectified. After filing final submission of the return, how you can rectify. For all these situations, this 26 part 2017 is this solution. And before that circular, from July, August to November, December, everybody was worried how to rectify these mistakes. Really, in those 4 months. Because July due date was August. There was a mistake in August written, July written. So how to rectify that? Nobody aware. Only in the month of December, by way of this circular, department has given a lot of relief that you can rectify mistakes like this. And Central Tax Removal of Difficulty Order number 2/2018, which has given some restrictions on the 26/26 for 17/18, 18/19. So this is how the entire provisions which enables the taxpayer to rectify his mistakes or omissions or commissions. Till now, any doubts? I mean, going very fast or 65. Ramesh garu, can I get water? Repeat. Sorry. Based on our information, they find out something. So they issue. Thank you. Huh. Have recorded the transaction books of accounts. Then there is no 74 day. They will issue for everything. For every mistake, they respond, they go and sit into 74 only. I asked one superintendent and one assistant commissioner when we were having a chart with the department, having a across the table after the work, we were charting with them. Then said that to whom you initiate 73? They said we only initiate the 73 section to the places where like PSUs, government departments. So all other places we invariably we initiate the proceedings in 74. So first you have to challenge that where is the power to the officer to investigate to initiate sanctions also. So on record, he has not established the fraud, he has not established the suppression, he has not established the restatement of facts. So the notice itself is void. Also raised. That's all. If you have guts, important word. If you have guts, courage, your client is supporting you, then you can write it. Because he has to follow section 75. 75 says that for these purposes, what is suppression, what is misstatement, everything it has given general principles for doing adjudication are given by 75. 75 says that the officer has to establish all this. If we write and replace like that, no office have work. Everybody has to resign. Any more doubts? Till this sixth or seventh slide. Seventh slide. And I appreciate the concern of the Vijayawada branch for giving beautifully 2.5 3 hours to the speaker to deliberate on the simple topic like rectifications for 3 hours. No branch grants like this. They are very liberal. And we are happy to see. I brought only 15 slides, but if 15 slides, I can manage for 6 hours. Because the topic is that. And everybody needs this. Yes, sir. Sir, 26/26, 2017, the circular says that wherever you have over declared the liability, short reported the liability, over claimed the input tax credit, short claimed the input tax credit, over payment of tax, less payment of tax. These are the 6 situations it has given. And that circular contains four columns. First column is talks about the situation, then before submission, after setting off, after filing of return, at what stage you can rectify how you can rectify this beautiful circular. I think I have a copy of it. You can go through. It's 11, returning 11 pages, but don't worry, matter is only in 4 pages. So can we jump into the practical situations? Yes, sir. By filing the GST income increases. Okay, and by the time we file our income tax returns, and I'm going to cover that. I'm going to cover. I'm asking for the from the point of law. Anybody want clarity? Or you find any provision other than this which I have missed out? You can mention. I'm welcome to accept my faults. Do you find any other provision other than this which enables the rectification of mistakes? So I'm taking you to the illustrative list of illustrative. It is not a complete or exhaustive list. Whatever is came to my mind, whatever has came to Sudhir's office and my office, we work together on this illustration. It's a illustrative list. It is not final list. So illustrative list of out of the past 6 years of experience, what mistakes can come in practice, in compliance practice, and then how to rectify that we are concentrating. I think I am covering around 42 situations. 42 situations we are going to cover. If anything is not covered in those 42 provisions, then that is going to be education. Please don't mind, don't stop yourself asking that 43rd situation. Please, it's a humble request. Sir? Yes, sir. 10 crores is not registered. Even e-invoicing system. But he is filing the by raising normal invoices. So can it cover under this? No, we are not covered. No. There is a question on invoice, but not this situation. The question is for everyone's benefit. The registered person's turnover has crossed 10 crores of rupees in a previous financial year, and he has not started generating e-invoice from the beginning of the next financial year. How to deal that situation? So during 22-23 financial year, that person turnover is say 11 crores. And 1st April 23 he has to start issuing e-invoice. Till September 23, you don't know that he has to issue invoice. Till July, April, May, June, July, he has issued manual invoice and GSTR 1 also filed. In this situation, how to rectify that omission? You immediately get the registration for e-invoice. Don't keep the old invoices. Once again, if you generate e-invoices for the previous 4 months, then your turnover will be doubled, because automatically that data will come into sit into your September month return. You cannot delete or make an amendment there. So don't key in those 4 months transactions. You start going it from this September. You follow it. For these 4 months, what will happen maximum? There could be a penalty. That's all. How much they will impose the penalty? For each invoice, maximum 2,500 plus 2,500, 5,000 rupees it will be. But how much the maximum quantum? They cannot go beyond 5 crores, 10 crores, 100 crores, 50 crores. There will be a quantum. Or officer can invoke general provision, general penalty under section 125, impose 50,000 penalty. Or penalty, if you are worried and you want to put all those e-invoices into portal once again, then you'll be messing up. Does not have a very nice check rate. We have what? Sir, where is the condition in section 16? Tax. Tax invoice. You have tax invoice. Does section 16 subsection 2 talks like that? Tax invoice is tax invoice. Whether it is e-invoice or normal manual invoice, it is an invoice. For the loss of supplier, the recipient cannot be penalized. Whether supplier is beyond 10 lakhs, how can I know? I'm one of the recipient is having hundreds of recipients. I'm one of among them. So how can I know that my supplier is cost 10 crores? Sir, they can say anything. Where is the enabling provision for you to issue notice? Will the lapse is there that we have to ask? Then that will be wrong. Only thing is you should have the courage and guts to ask the office. That is only a hack. What now? He files after 20th of this. Because of the working capital maintenance and all these things, he is maintaining. He's not uploading the before 20th. For those wrongdoers, how can I advise? So still we are doing what my client is asking. Take this input in that month. But now from October 22 onwards, how it is possible? That's what is saying that section 39 and the corresponding rules have been amended. Unless it is appearing in your GST Act 2B, you are not entitled to take the credit. Laws came to force from, I think it is 1st October 2022. So after that date, how can you take? Before that date, we have a job possibility. 20th August. He's filling out the 20th. By the time you recipient will be filing 2B is where? By the time department wakes up, it will be 3 to 4 months. So by the time that will appear in the next month, 3 STR to be to pay 1 month interest. That is the solution. Only 1 month interest. So now these illustrations have divided into three categories. One is output tax, another is input tax, then others. So we'll go one by one. First, we'll discuss with the outward supplies, then inward supplies, then others. So these are the situation. I have 2 slides on the outward supplies, not more than. Very simple things. This everybody is coming across in our daily life. So reporting of B2B transaction as B2C in GST are what to do, and the recipient has called me. My customer has called me that in his GST 2A and 2B, my invoice is not appearing and is worried whether I have filed my return or not, and he is making my life miserable. That is what is the call from our client. So how to rectify this situation? If you look at section 37, subsection 3, it allows you to amend, rectify the omission. So in the subsequent month GSTR1 return, in table 9, you reduce the B2B transaction value and you put the in table 9 the B2B transaction. Then that your life is completed. A sold goods to B. Instead of reporting as sold to B, he has reported as sold to C. That is reporting under the wrong GSTIN in GSTR. So section 37, subsection 3, the same force we use for this also. And in G subsequent month, so this mistake has happened in the month of May 24. Sorry, May 24 as no. May 23. Then in the month of June return, you can go to table 9 and make a amendment to invoice. Instead of C, you replace it with B and save it, submit it. Automatically GSTR 2A and 2B also gets auto-populated. Then that is we are satisfied. In these two situations, We have not short paid any tax. There is no penalty imposable. There is no interest is impossible. Yes, sir.
The second case,
Hmm.
it's not taking an amendment, sir, because the invoice is the same. Because invoice is same, but GSTN is wrong. So when I want to,
You have to mention revised invoice number, then you can. Then you have made several times.
the option is there.
Because my office staff is very negligent. They do a lot of like things. Come to credit note, for what situation you can issue credit note? No supply, deficiency in service or supply, or rate change in the reduction in the taxable value or reduction in the rate of tax. So this covered under section 34. How can you issue? Am I clear? His question is, we have mentioned wrong GSTN number in GSTR1. To that person, we issue a credit note. Then to whom it is actually to be given, that is B, will be mentioned as a fresh invoice in next month to return. I am saying that where is the right for you to issue credit note for the first transaction when it is mentioned in the C's name? Because section 34 subsection 2 categorically says that in case of no supply transactions or there is a deficiency in supply of goods or services where there is a reduction in the taxable value or reduction in the rate of tax, only for these four situations you can issue credit note. This situation is not covered there. By doing that, you are doing another mistake. Sir, ఈ ఇన్వాయిస్ పోర్టల్లో కరెక్షన్ చేయండి. Let your customer issue invoice to you. So you know B and C also. You go to C and ask them to issue invoice in your name. Then you issue invoice to B. That is also possible. For, for debit note and duty paying document or invoice, there is no time limit. Yes, sir. For everything, movement is not. If you go to section 10, subsection 1, clause B of the IGST Act, it says that where there is no movement, even the deemed delivery is also considered as delivery.
payment and CBI bill also has to be raised.
But it is not required, sir.
So,
Some e-way bill is only for the purpose of transportation of goods from one place to another place. If the goods have reached the destination without e-way bill, please don't raise e-way bill. So that is not a mistake. If the goods during the transit, if they are not covered by proper document, then only section 129, 130 of the CGST Act can be invoked. Otherwise, no. Once the goods have reached the destination without support of a e-way bill, then officer cannot ask you. They don't have rest. They can ask so many things. What you ate in the morning also he can ask you. But whether he has the power to ask that question, that is a different story. They can ask so many questions. Sir, they don't have the right to enter your premises. Only section 67 gives them the right. Section 25 gives them the right to enter your premises. Sir, 67 only, then 71 comes in. Yeah, section 65, ADT. For ADT, section 65, you can enter your premises, or for search and seizure, or for survey, you can enter your premises, or to verify the registration particulars, you can enter. For all situations, you can never enter into your premises. If you enter, record a CCTV footage or maybe with your mobile, go to police station and give a complaint. That is unauthorizedly entering into prohibiting what is called trespassing into my property. It is a criminal offense. Officer may lose his job also. Officer have limited powers, sir. As a citizen, we have unlimited powers.
But we don't know how power.
That is the pathetic situation. 25, 65, 67. But generally, if the superintendent or the officer is my friend, they can enter into my office anytime. That's a different story. But officially, reporting of wrong place of supply in GST are one. So a transaction, as per me, section 12, subsection 3 is applicable. I understood like that. And I decided the place of supply is intrastate supply. But later I found and understood that section 12, subsection 3 is not applicable. It is section 12, subsection 4 is applicable. So by applying that section, it becomes interstate supply. Clear? So in that situation, how to rectify that mistake? Amendment. How? Section 77, read with section 19 of the IGST Act, clearly says that you pay the correct tax first. Then you claim the refund of the wrong paid tax. Further, there is one circular number 162 bar 18 bar 2021 dated 25th September 2021, which says that within 2 years from the date of payment, you have to claim the refund. Before that circular, it was unlimited. After the circular, it has to be claimed. The refund has to be claimed within 2 years from the date of circular or actual date to the 2 years, whichever is later.
Okay, the tax will be, sir, because
TRC03 you can pay it less, sir. Or you report in subsequent
Yes.
month. Subsequent month, the GST or 3B you report. Or you report in GST or 9.
GST. Okay.
You identified only during GST or 9. You pay through GST or 9 and then claim for the refund of wrongly paid tax. No problem. Department is giving the refunds. Divided you show the documentation.
Circular is
Circular number, Central Tax Circular number 162 bar 18 bar 2021. It is 25th September 2021. The fourth situation, reporting under wrong rate of tax or taxable value in GSTR1. So the taxable value or tax is mentioned wrongly. Instead of keying 1 crore, we have keyed in 10 lakhs. Or 10 lakhs is keyed as 1 crore. Automatically the tax will increase. We have to key in the rate of tax as 7.5%, but we have used 18% as vice versa. So there is a loss of lot of tax or maybe unnecessary gain of tax. If you have paid less, follow 26/26 circular, subsequent month return, you make amendment, pay the tax along with interest, then you are rest assured. No litigation from the department. If you have paid more tax more, then reduced by amendment, then your credit ledger will be recredited with that. But no refund will be granted in this situation.
One doubt, sir.
Yes, sir.
In registration situation, we have only 5 HSN codes that can be added.
Yes, sir.
With some other business, and he is paid the GST as per that percentage. Without mentioning the HSN code, whether we can do that 50 business.
100 business you do, sir.
But
Sir, that is a limitation you have the department. But you cannot restrict with your limitation. I cannot do business. Possible, sir, you can do it. Can do it. So in case of a government contractors, railway contractors, they do private works contract, government work, they supply the goods, they they do even labor supply transactions and only material supply transactions. They do a lot of work, but all those things cannot be put in that HSN code wise or SSC code wise. So it is not possible. You select out of those what are the primary five, put them. That's all. Because it is a transaction based taxation, whether the transaction is suffered, tax suffered or not, that is the criteria. Next, reporting of zero rated as nil rated or exempted in GSTR 1. Is really, I am putting a hypothetical question or really it is possible? Is there any box in GSTR 1 for this? It is there. It is there. It is there. For zero rated separate, exempted separate, and nil rated separate, and non GST also separate. Just I'm waking you up. That's all. I know it is there. No. I don't know a lot of things. Please excuse me. No. I don't know a lot of things. So, in case of a exempted transaction like bank interest, by mistake I have reported as zero rated supply, no problem. Tax is not going to fall on you. But by mistake, zero rated supply, if you put into the exempted supply transaction line, then you are going to have the problem. How? When you apply for refund, the exempt zero rate supply and the ISK data will be matched by the department. Then you will be denied the refund. So that you have to make an amendment. Then subsequently, it's only the possible. Section 37, subsection 3 enables for that amendment of this justification. Only in case of refund where it is hanging, then you make amendment for nil rated, for exempted, not to worry it much because there is no tax. And that cannot be proved as suppression. That cannot be a fraud. That cannot be a mistake. However, there is no tax involved. Non-reporting of non-business transactions. I need to say here, we have financial statements, we have books of accounts, we have GST returns, we have professional tax returns, we have PF and ESI returns. So many statutory departments are, so many things we have to follow. We have to comply on this. And apart from that, we have accounting standards. Yes. One particular transaction is coming in P&L account, which has not been reported to GST department. That is situation. A particular transaction is coming only in the computation of income, not in books of accounts. Computation of income, it is coming, but not in books of accounts. I will report it that. The second situation. In these two situations, if the tax is paid less, 39 subsection 9 allows you to increase in the subsequent month and pay it off. Say, for example, I am chartered accountant practicing all my returns income from chartered accountant profession. I have shown in my profit and loss account, but at the same time, I have a commercial property which is let out, which is only appearing in my computation of income, not in books of accounts. I have considered all the income which is appearing in my P&L account or financial statements, but I have not reported the information of commercial rent to the department. Tomorrow, when the department comes to me and asks for my computation of income and financial statements and my bank statement, all the 26 A's from somewhere or the other, they'll get the information. They'll get it. Not an issue. They'll have a source and they'll get the information. Before they detect, if you want to rectify, then you increase in the subsequent month or you increase it in the GSTR 9 and pay the tax by way of DRC 03 along with interest. So most of the business persons, who is going to look into my computation of income? Why should I pay tax on that? That is the attitude. So please advise your clients, even that is also going to come into the GST audit because GST registration is PAN based, not business based. So whatever the incomes of that particular PAN will have to be considered in GST returns itself. It cannot be only business transaction will cover.
Even residential rents also we have to report as.
No, not you can report in the non-exempted transactions. Not an issue. Even does not report, no matter. But wherever there is a levy, you have to compensate. So I'm partner of Saraf, Satish and Company, Chartered Accountants. I have a question for all of you. My firm is registered under the GST and we are collecting GST and paying to the government. I think you in my profile you have heard that I am member of Hyderabad one group of TAQRB. So TAQRB is paying honorarium to me. So TAQRB is having headquarters at ICAI Bhavan, New Delhi. So they are paying me honorarium, say 5,000 rupees for each report we submit. The example. So whether I am required to take registration, because my firm income, my firm is taking registration and my firm is paying the taxes. Section 24 says that any person, irrespective of your turnover, any person making an interstate supply of goods or services, he has to take compulsory registration. Yes or no? Yes. Then whether I am required to take registration?
Yes. I tell you.
No. IGST I can take it here in Hyderabad and supply the services through. As a partner, I am not required. I'm a partner, I'm not required to take any registration. But for the sake of 5,000 of honorarium,
Such 20 lakhs.
who says that? Where is the source? Where is the guiding factor for that?
Because your aggregate turnover must. When it goes to itself.
Section 22 says that if you are crossing the threshold limit of 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs or 40 lakhs, then you have to apply for registration, obtain the registration, that is section 22. Section 23 says that agriculturist or any specified person who is exclusively dealing in exempted goods or services is not required to take registration. Section 24 starts with notwithstanding anything contained in 22 or 23. Any person making the interstate supply, he has to take the registration irrespective of his turnover. So 24 is overriding 22. So irrespective of my turnover, I am required to take registration. So whether I am required to take registration or not, my question to everyone is no. Who says? No. I want the person who's which piece of registration says, or which piece of notification, which piece of section talks about that. So council meeting is not binding, sir. Even press release is not binding. Unless it is a notification or a circular, it is not binding. Or it should be part of the legislature, that is CGST Act or IGST. Council deliberated so many things. First council meeting, all things are not implemented till now. 32 meeting, they have made lot of changes, but nothing is implemented as of. What is that? Central tax central tax notification 10 by 2018, 2nd August 2018. That is the so by virtue of that notification, I am not required to take registration. Just to tell you that how much has to be looked into.
So in the case of a firm and an individual partner.
No, sir. Sir, my turnover is less than 20 lakhs. I am not required to take registration. If for a service supplier of service, if my turnover is less than 20 lakhs of rupees, even though I am providing interstate supplies, I am not required to take registration. That is provided by the Central Tax Notification 10 bar 2008. But if you look at that 10 bar 2018 notification, it says that as the powers provided under section 23 subsection 2, again there is a violation. Section 24 talks about compulsory registration. For compulsory registration, how can you issue notification under 23? 24 over 8, 23. Notification says that as the powers empowered under section 23 subsection 2, the government hereby notifies that any person who is supplying taxable services from liable to IGST if this taxable if his taxable if his aggregate turnover is less than 20 lakhs of rupees, he need not take registration. Does he have to follow that or not? I don't know. You should follow because it's information to us. But government can say that it is the government don't have power. So officer can say that. Officer can say that. So the government does not have power to issue under 70, 23, 24 it has to be issued. So it is 23, I will not accept this circular or notification. No, no. There is a Supreme Court judgment that circulars are not binding on the officer also. It is possible. If the officer having that much intelligence and if you know wisdom, you can keep away the circular. So please, whoever your client is there, please make them understand that it is PAN-based registration. It is not business-based registration or activity-based registration. So all the transactions which are liable to GST, which are not reported, which are not in the books of account, then please report them and pay the tax. Because if the department comes for audit, then we are liable for penalties also. And it is amount to suppression because it is not in books of accounts. If it is books of accounts, it cannot be called as suppression because we have already recorded the transaction. Certain cases we came across non-adherence to Rule 86 BS.
So,
Hmm.
is to register it in
We have treated only.
So they are doing in multiple states.
Hmm.
They are not states.
Not it. Not. Section 22 it says that the person who is supplying the taxable services from which state, in that state he has to take the registration. If I have registration in Andhra Pradesh, and if I am providing state services in Karnataka, and if I am providing these services from state of Andhra Pradesh, then I need not take registration in Karnataka. Not Karnataka, IGST. IGST invoice. I could not understand. When you have a bank, then you have to take registration. So don't have bank, place you are providing services to Karnataka by way of box contract also. By way of box contract also, you can bill IGST. అవసరం లేదని చెప్తున్నాను. సర్కిల్ ఉంది కదండి మీద. I don't remember the circular exact number. I could have told you, but there is not required. So we break for tea or we want to break? Nothing like that. That's why there is no tea. Let us continue. So non-adherence to Rule 86B. What Rule 86B says that in case of a particular tax period, in any tax period, if your turnover exceeds 50 lakhs of rupees, in that situation, the taxable person has to pay at least 1% of tax by utilizing balance in the electronic cash ledger. And there are certain exceptions to that. 1, 2, 3, 4 conditions. But none of the persons, though they does not satisfy those conditions, but still they are not following 86B. So they are paying 100% tax by utilizing electronic credit ledger. And the department is issuing left and right notices for that violation. Have any one of your clients received? No. Maybe Andhra Pradesh will follow Telangana. Maybe we are recently they have started issuing. Here also issuing. After election. So in that situation, before department comes and demands for that, better pay 1% tax along with interest and claim for the refund or adjustment in the subsequent month that of 1%. So it is mandatory that you have to pay 1% from electronic cash. Yeah. Sir, ఏ మంత్ లో 50 lakhs above ఉందో ఆ మంతే. My April 23 turnover is 45 lakhs. For that 86B is not applicable. My May turnover is 55 lakhs. Then 86B is applicable. Only for that month you have to come. అది కాదు కాదు ఏ మంత్ కా మంత్ ఏ ట్యాక్స్ పీరియడ్ కా ట్యాక్స్. Non-reversal of ITC under second proviso to section 16 subsection. Second proviso to section 16 subsection 2 talks about payment to the supplier within 180 days from the date of invoice. But I have written wrongly here. It is not reversal. What it should be? Non-reversal of ITC under second proviso to section 16 subsection 2. What it should be? So, no. Section 16 says that it should be added to the output tax line, not reversal. So the invoice dated 1st April 2022, if I does not pay my supplier before 2nd October 2023, so 2022, then I have to reverse, not reverse, I have to add that tax component in that particular tax invoice as my outward tax supply. Then I have to pay interest for that 6 months. Whenever I make the payment to my supplier, then I can reclaim that. There is no time limit for reclaiming of the tax rate for this situation. Mismatch in data between GSTN and IceGate. What is IceGate? What is GSTN? I think need not explain you. So in case of a refund, IceGate captures the data of what? Export. Export. What data it captures? FOB value it calculates. FOB value it takes. IceGate will take the data from the customs authorities, the FOB value. But whereas our invoice of export may be what? Tax. Cash on. So there will be yes. So GST, what is reported is correct as per GST law. Because whatever the transaction value, you have to report as transaction value. But in IceGate, it is capturing only the FOB value. So wherever there is a mismatch, kindly amend those invoices in GSTR1 of the subsequent month. Then automatically your refund will be processed. If it is with payment of tax, of goods, not services. If it is services or without payment of tax, you have to apply RFD1. In case of export with payment of tax of goods, your refund is automatic. You need not apply. If the data between GSTN and the IceGate matches, the government is on their own, they are processing the refunds. We need not request them. The moment you file your GST and TB, automatically your refund request will start process. Are you aware? So if you have any client who is supplying without payment of tax, advise him to convert into with payment of tax. Automatically within 15 days of filing of GST or 3B, they'll get the refunds. But there are certain goods for which we cannot go for with payment. You have to go into that notification and look into it. All is not good. So tea break up, sir. Ready? Ready. So what do you say, friends? Okay, we'll break for the tea. Since morning, Sudhir has eaten some brain and now Satish is eating some other part of the brain, which is So we break for tea and we'll reassemble quickly within 15 minutes. And, huh?
Daily breaking is better, sir. Practical.
Sir, you pause చేస్తారా?
I can't go ahead. Friends, I request all of you to please take your seats so that we will continue this session. We also request you to consider for enrolling for a DISA course, which is mandatory to get a bank audit as well. And also in the coming days, DISA will be one of the pre-qualification required for the purpose of getting audits. That is one thing. And Vijayawada branch is launching a batch on 13th of commencing from 13th of this month, wherein the classes will be from 10 to 5 p.m. and the faculty selected by the head office will be coming and addressing the batches. And it is definitely it will be mandatorily a physical batch. So in order to enroll yourself, you have to enroll in the SSP portal itself, wherein there is a option of 50 hours of training virtually that you will understand. And once you have completed that, you will be eligible to register for the brand for the batch, and you will be the batch at Vijayawada will be visible to you once you have completed that 20 hours of virtual training. I request all of you to take this opportunity because these days the launching of this DISA batch is a difficult thing because unless there are a minimum number of batch strength, the head office will not be giving the permission to launch the branch because they won't be uh, unless there are at least 30 members in a batch, the batch will not be commenced. So there are some seats to be filled up in order to complete the 30 number of persons in the batch. What we are going to commence on 13th of this, I request you also to inform your friends with regard to this DISA batch being conducted at Vijayawada branch on 13th of this month. And tomorrow's session are also very important as far as this GST perspective is concerned. I request all of you also to join for tomorrow's sessions also, which will be commencing at 10 a.m. sharp. So I will request the session speaker to continue.
So welcome back, friends. We'll move to the next slide. Reporting of wrong HSN code in the GSTR 1 return. This cannot be rectified in subsequent month because there is no amendment specifically provided for this purpose in GSTR 1. So it is not possible to rectify. Only it is possible to rectify in GSTR 9. For that, there cannot be no officer will levy penalty for reporting of wrong HSN, something like that. But it is better to rectify in GSTR 9. That is my advice.
Disclosure is compulsory, sir. HSN.
More than 2 crores compulsory.
In case of department stores and
Sir, what is your business? We are not concerned. So law is made across the board. It is not for specific person.
now, where will it take?
Outward supplies reported in another year. So I mean to say that 22-23 financial year outward supplies, we have reported in GSTR 3B of 23-24. We have paid the interest also. Why this point is included here is to support that what is a care to be taken in other places. So your financial statement should have the provision for payment of GST. The turnover to be recorded as income in your financial statements. And also, please take care in filling GSTR 9 that this financial year information is paid in the subsequent financials. Then everything will match. You are compliant. You have paid the tax, you have paid the interest, but how to make it correct? Reporting. Then this care we have to take. RCM transactions reported as forward charge. So certain cases where it is, say for example, I am liable to RCM, but I have mistakenly reported as forward charge. When I file GSTR1 return by mistake, automatically it comes as a liability in my GSTR3B. Yes, sir. And will be allowed to amend that. Yes. So make it 0. Don't pay tax. File it. Subsequent month, you amend it in table 9 that it is not forward charge as a RCM that is possible.
During 1 month, I paid excess tax. Second month, I amended the GST. But in that month,
Your liability will reduce. So you follow 26/26 circular. It says that till whenever the time you are output tax liability, you have to carry it forward. If you does not complete, then apply for refund. That is the advice given by the 26/26. Next month. No, you can adjust it. So say in September, this mistake has happened. Till March, you cannot adjust it. So don't take it to April. For the month of March, you apply for refund. That is what the circular says. Just to go through that. Builders, what Sudhir was saying that reporting of full value instead of 2/3 value in GSTR1. So 1 crore 50 lakhs is the transaction value, in which 1/3 will be the land value. So 1 crore will be the taxable value and 50,000 will be exempted value. For ease of filing of returns, so what builders or the consultants are we doing is that we are reporting 1 crore 50 lakhs under the 5% rate. That is wrong reporting. What should be reported is 2/3 value, that is 1 crore, has to be reported under 7.5 category. The rate of tax will become the 5%. This mistake, please, if you are doing in the past, correct it. Your output tax liability will not increase. At the same time, I'll come to it. At the same time, don't feel that you have to match your books of accounts with the GST. It is nowhere mentioned. It is not a service tax era. This is not a VAT era. It need not match. Because under accounting standards, under Income Tax Act, it is sale is recognized, whereas in GST, supply is recognized. So there is a lot of disparity between these two. So need not match. Coming to the builders post OC and 1/3 value reporting mistakenly. So 1/3 value should not be reported in GSTR1 return. Because if you look at the 11/2017 central tax rate notification under item number 2, one is the rates and second number is explanation starts with second sections 2. It says that 2/3 will be the taxable value. 2/3 value will be the taxable value. That is the wording used in the notification. So we have to report only the 2/3 value. Don't report 1/3 value in GSTR1. Not required to be reported. అందుకే వస్తాను 1/3 value కదా. When you report this value as 1/3 value, then department will ask you to adopt section rule 42 and 43 for proportionate reviews. But you have some other business. We are facing these problems. It is not vaguely I put here. We are facing the problem. Not required to report. Not report. But this is a specific situation for builder that was post OC and one-third value which should not report in GSTR 1 or 3B because the wording of this notification is sir, sale value weight test. అయితే ఏమవుతుంది పోస్ట్ మ్యాచ్ కాదు అయితే ఏమైంది ఎవరికి ఓడి చెప్పాడండి మీకు generally accepted accounting policies what we adopt in India that say that A7 works contract or for that case the proportionate per completion method we follow. How it can match with GST? Right. In case of the year in which you receive the OC, you will raise an invoice for construction services. Will it be recorded in books of accounts? Then how it can match?
After sale of apartment.
Sir,
Sale rate.
దీనికి ఆన్సర్ చెప్తా చెప్తాను not required to match it. So when I'm saying that one-third value post OC, please don't report it. So let him show that weight has to be reported. Notification says that two-third value will be the taxable value. So one-third is not at all a value. Taxable అంటే post OC everything is the example. Living cannot not possible. It is immovable property and out of GST. It is out of GST. Because GST is available only on goods and services, not on land.
In one we have shown sir.
Sir, 9 reconciliation statement is sir. Others to రాయండి reasons ఇవ్వండి.
It has completed. Now and GST one also we have shown exempted. Now 9 is to be filed as. అందులో మామూలుగా
సార్ మీరు చూపిస్తే చూపించండి సార్ చూపిస్తారు లాలో రిక్వైర్మెంట్ లేదు నేను చెప్తున్నాను దట్ ఈస్ ఓల్డ్ ఆప్షన్
చెప్పి 1 crore మీద మన ట్యాక్స్ కట్టాలి 1.5 మీద కట్టాలి సార్
1 crore మీద కట్టాలండి
5%.
7.5%. సరే ఇప్పుడు 7.5 లో 1 crore చూపించండి 1.5 crore మీద 5% కాదు ట్యాక్స్
చూపించేటప్పుడే 7.
సార్ సార్ 1.5 crore ట్యాక్స్ ఎంత అవుతుంది 5%. కాదండి నోటిఫికేషన్ 11/2017 specifies the rate of tax as 7.5%. So then if you to 5%, then you are allowing if the officer without changing the taxable value, if you changes the rate of tax, then additional liability రావట్లా
7.5 మామూలుగా చూపిస్తారు నోటిఫికేషన్ ఎంత సార్
11/2017 సెంట్రల్ ట్యాక్స్ రేట్
11/2017 స్టార్టింగ్
దానికి అగ్రిమెంట్ 4/2019 4/2019 but this is going into the 11/2017 payment under wrong head in case of advances ఏం చేయండి. So for example, I have received advance from a customer. On that I have paid 18% tax. I don't know at the time of supply, at the time of receipt of the advance, whether he be interstate or intrastate. So on an assumption, I have paid intrastate CGST 9%, SGST 9%. But when it really came to transaction, when I issued an invoice, it resulted into IGST. So when I want to show in box 11 of the GSTR1 adjustment to the advance received in the past and invoice during this year, that will not match. Then there is a column in box 11 itself, amendment to the advances taken in the previous periods. So make an amendment there, then you report IGST, it will set up properly. That's it. Because same amendment. So you came to know, say for example, you have received a advance in April, you have issued a invoice in June, So in May, you came to know that you can amend it, or in June also you can make an amendment. Adjustment.
Same one.
Same. Invoice was issued export with payment of tax. But while reporting GSTR1, it has shown as without payment of tax. Filing mistake. Erroneously done. By ticking one box, another box is ticked. That is only the mistake there. There's nothing more in that. So then for that, if you are not receiving any refund of GST paid on exports, then you have to make an amendment in the subsequent month by amendment of that particular invoice saying that it is with payment of tax, not without payment tax. That you pay the you pay the IGST, automatically your refund will come. This is we are facing in so many cases very badly. Reporting advance as B2C instead of advances table in GSTR1. For this, it's a grave mistake. So I have received advance. I have to show as a table 11 of the GSTR1, but I have reported in GSTR1 table 4 outward service as a B2C transaction. If the advance received and the invoice are the same month, sorry, same financial year, there won't be any problem. You can make a adjustment. But if the invoice is falling in the subsequent years, because section 34 subsection 2 will not allow you to issue credit note. It is a problem. There, double taxation is possible. Because your customer should get the input tax credit, you have to report invoice. Or advances already you have paid as a B2C. If in that month you have another B2C transaction, you read it. Otherwise, you have to pay double tax. It's a grave mistake. One has to be very careful. సార్ ఎప్పుడు చేస్తారు సార్ సార్ నవంబర్లో చేస్తారు ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ గోస్ బియాండ్ 2 years. In some cases in the engineering industries, advance comes at least to 3 to 4 years in advance. ఎట్లా చూపిస్తారు సార్ అయిపోతే అన్ని పుణ్యకాలం గడిచిపోతుంది డబుల్ టాక్సేషన్ అవుతుంది తెలుసుకుంటారు అంతే. Certain cases they have increased the liability in GSTR 9, but they have not paid DRCs. So my GSTR 3B total is say 5 crores, but books of accounts 5 crores 50 lakhs. So in GSTR 9, we have amended the turnover as 5 crores 50 lakhs into 18%. For that 50 lakhs additional liability around 9 crores 9 lakhs. We have amended the table 9 of GSTR 9 also. Increased but failed to pay the TRCs. Then you are liable for tax and interest before department detects it. Once the department detects it, you are liable for tax, interest, and penalty, and plus no prosecution, sir. For this, no prosecution, sir. Don't. It is not income tax. For those 3 offences, what Sudhir told, yes, prosecution. It's collected, not paid to the government beyond 3 months. Invoice issued, but no material is supplied. Material supplied, invoice material issued, but no invoice issued, or invoice issued, but no material. So in these 3 cases, yes, prosecution is possible. No, not other cases are possible. No.
Why was 50 lakh turnover is 50 lakh is a turnover which has a tax collected?
Sir, I'm rectifying it before department detects. For prosecution, there should be minimum 2 crores of ovation.
It is there.
2 crores through 5 crores. The officer has the power to grant a bail. It is bailable offense. If it is beyond 5 crores, it is a non-bailable offense. Tax force. Debit note issued by recipient and included in GSTR1. This is a funny situation. See, always the supplier has to report everything in GST. Recipient is not expected to do anything. Whether it is debit note, credit note, invoice, tax-paying document, bill of supply, whatever it is, everything has to be reported by supplier only. The initiation point and end point is supplier only. Recipient should not do anything. By mistake, if the recipient has reported debit note in GSTR1 for a supplier, then that supplier, please don't give any impact. Please don't do any tinkering for that wrong reporting by the recipient. Ask him to nullify it. Because he has reported, it has come in my through to GSTR 2B, how to reverse it? Oh, please don't think like that. If it is GSTR credit note for him, it is a debit note for us. So GSTR law says that only supplier can issue debit note, not the recipient. So any mistake made by the recipient, please don't act for that. Don't do any deduction or increase in your life. Then we'll move to inward.
Filing of GST and any liability will be discharged to cash ledger only, sir.
If you look at the notes given below the GSTR 9 form, it says the liability has to be discharged by only cash ledger. It is mentioned, but we are using credit ledger only for tax. But interest and penalty, we have to use cash ledger. So we'll move to yes, sir.
After that. Still.
Okay. So what reason you have mentioned there? DRC03. Under which section you have filed? 73. Voluntary or annual return? Even that is also okay. Even for after filing 9 also, if you use credit, department is not objecting. But actually, strictly speaking, the footnotes of the GSTR 9 form, it says only cash. Go to cash. Availing blocker credit. Any person who has availed blocker credit says what are the credits which are falling under section 617, such subsection 5. If you have claimed it, please reverse it along with interest, whether you utilize it or not. To utilize it or not, you are liable for interest. Wrong availment. Wrong availment. I am having a 1 crore credit ledger. My output tax liability is 90 lakhs. I have adjusted it, 10 lakhs is still there. It is there for the last 4 years or 6 years. But I have utilized a blocker credit of say 5,000 rupees. But still I am liable for interest. Though there is a credit balance in my credit ledger. Because it is a wrong availment. Be clear on that. And certain people are claiming ITC on the CSR activity. The CSR activity was brought into section 17, subsection 5, clause FA by Finance Act 2023. And it is made applicable from 1st October 2023. It is not retrospective, it is prospective only. So that gives a feeling that anybody who has spent money on CSR activity is eligible to claim the input tax credit prior to 1st October 2023. But my understanding is it is not eligible.
Going to be
It has to be. Sir, whatever it is, under this law, it is prohibited. That was the same interpretation you were having for 2017 onwards. So it is not a business expenditure. It is not a business expenditure. To continue the company, you have to incur CSR expenditure. It is not furtherance of. What is furtherance of business usually in the GST law? Have we defined it? Have we defined it? No, we have not defined it. So we have a different meaning. You have a different meaning. We never meet each other. We never meet each other. So my understanding is that CSR activity since 1st July 2017 not eligible. Please reverse it. Pay along with tax interest. Non-reversal of ITC for credit notes in GSTR 2A and 2B. So many people say that I have not received the physical credit note from my supplier, so I am not going to reverse it. No, that plea cannot be taken. For input tax rate claim, though you have not received invoice, you are taking the free credit because it's appearing in 2B or 2A, and why not for credit? Once it appears, please have a word with your supplier. If it is a genuine transaction, please reverse it. If you have not done in the past, please do it now because it is liable for penalty. ITC aware in the next finance year how to mitigate this issue. So March 2023 return, if I file after 30th November, there is a serious violation. March 2023 return, if I file GSTR 3B, if I file after 30th November 2023, then there is a serious violation because we are hit by section 16 subsection 4, then we are not eligible for the input tax credit. Fine, no problem. We are not eligible. I am regularly filing the GSTR 3B returns. I missed 50 lakhs of credit in 1 month. I am filing regularly. In which month I have claimed that 50? Anybody knows? Does department aware? Next 5 months, I have taken 10 lakhs as input tax credit. Before 30th November, I am filing returns in time. Did anybody knows? Because that input tax one figure, nobody is aware which belongs to which month. Because it never matches with 3B and 2D. Whatever we want, we put the figures there. So, 22-23 financial input tax credit, I have claimed in 23 to 24, but 24-25, I'll claim in 24-25. Who is going to stop me? If you take that stand, though you are not claiming it properly, but if you take that stand, please see that that credit is appearing in your balance sheet. And a suitable reporting is done in GSTR 9. Then only your stand will stand. Old rules. 12:30. If you file beyond GSTR 3B for the month of March, if you file beyond 30th April, 30th November, then nobody is going to see it. If it is regular, you are filing that month, that year, you have forgotten. So next year, I have taken it. Who is going to stop you? Provided you take care that your balance sheet speaks about that, your GSTR 9 speaks about it. Then you have a case. Nobody can deny it. Am I clear? I've given a lot of planning here. Please put your mind before finalizing the batch. Year-end adjustment for with respect to reversal under 42 and 40. Every month we are applying rule 42, 43 reversals. Every month meticulously we are doing it. But rule 42, 43 requires after the end of the financial year, before September, we have to recalculate, and as per the recalculated figures, if there is any increase or decrease, that has to be reversed. Are we doing that? Nobody is doing. Law requires you to do this. Certain cases, credit note is taken as input tax credit. They don't know whether it is outward supply or inward supply, credit note, debit note, what table dealer does not know. Whatever is applying in GST or 3B, you make a total and claim it. So 20 lakhs is input tax credit, 2 lakhs is credit note. So he made a total of 20 plus 2, 22 lakhs, he has claimed. But actually is eligible for 18 only. If yes, anybody has claimed like that, then you will immediately reverse 4 lakhs along with interest. ITC reversed, but forgot to pay the interest. It's liable. You can do it by GST. So, not a non-reversal of ITC on credit note issued by the customer. So certain customers are issuing credit note and asking the supplier to reduce the input tax credit. That is wrong. Don't reverse, don't consider. Please. Reversal of ITC against non-GST credit note. Somebody was asking me during the T session that the non-GST credit note on this. So there are two kinds of credit note after GST came into existence. One is GST credit note, another is financial credit note. We have invented. There is no such mention in the law. We have invented. So that financial credit note need not be reported in GST returns. Need not be given effect in the books of accounts for ITC. I mean to say that now it does not mean that your income should increase. So if it is a GST credit note, what we will do? We will take it to the trading account or manufacturing. Yes, sir.
Yes.
If it is a financial credit note, we show it in the credit side of the P&L. So both are different. We reduce it from the purchase value. Here we are showing it as an income. Both are standing in a different footing. So for non-GST credit note, don't report in GST returns. Even if reported, don't give any effect by the recipient in his GST returns. It is non-GST. No GST is involved in that credit note. Yes, sir. No, not like that. No supply. Supply is already made.
So the purchases, the taxable value, GST.
So accounting treatment is like that. In the GAAP, we are following that prescribes that only. It is not by Satish.
GST is 0, tax is 0, taxable value will be there something 10,000, 3,000. So that is relating to purchases. So we can reduce it.
But accounting standards talks like this only. If it is excise duty paid document, then it has to be reduced from the purchase. The accounting standard says that. If it is non-duty paid document, then it has to be credited to P&L account. That is what accounting standard. Am I right? Huh. Yes. There is no sum. So 194 or 50 lakhs is reported on that one person. 5,000. You claim input in TDS credit to your income tax return and you show that 50 lakhs as income in your ITR. Other income or maybe credited to P&L account and debited to capital account. But it is not liable to GST because there is no supply. It is a voluntarily given. It is a transaction in money. It is cannot be made liable to GST. Even though gold is given, even though a Europe trip is given, even though a suitcase or maybe some fridge is given. No. For that, there is no performance required by other person. It is not a business transaction. So you also refer that advance billing in case of auto taxi. That is also saying same thing.
One more time. How we have to pay it.
In GST, there is no liabilities. No liability in GST because it is not a supply.
In invoice, we have to mention or not.
Which invoice?
Some free gifts.
Sir, free gifts are free supplies. So in case of pharma, for 10 tablets, they are issuing 2 tablets free. So you have to factorize that two tablets value. So you have to issue invoice for 12 tablets. 10 plus 2. Zero.
We can use that input, sir.
Yes, why not? ITC reduced in GSTR, but no DRC 03 is issued, then you have to issue DRC 03 for file DRC 03, pay tax and interest, whatever is applicable. Very important this, ignoring to remove auto-populated ITC in table 4A3 of the GSTR 3B, leading to subsequent notices. Have anyone came across this? So what is the solution? Inward liability, liable to reverse charge is the table 4A3. So our supplier has reported our transaction liable to reverse charge under GST law. Then that is comment sitting into your. If we feel that it is not liable, just please remove it. Not liable if you feel that it is not pertaining to you. If it is not pertaining to you, you feel that it is not liable, please remove it and then you file it. But subsequently, the department is issuing notices. Please submit a response to that. Whoever is issuing the notice, recipient. If you deny that, then they will go to sub. Why you are reported wrong? The next biggest question is disclosure of temporary reversal in table 4B1 instead of table 4B2. 4B1 talks about as per rule 42-43 reversal is 4B1 and 4B2 is other reversals. If you want to make a temporary reversal, you have to use 4B2, not 4B1. Once you make a reversal under 4B1, then it will calculate for your input tax credit total. If it is reversal 4B2, then it will not calculate for the input tax credit total. What is appearing in a 2B and what is your GST 3B. So their department is issuing notices. Please take a little bit care in filling that. Non-disclosure of reclaimed ITC in table number 4D1 leading to difference in ITC as per GSTR 3B compared to GSTR 2B, in turn leading to notice from the department. To understand this, let us go to this slide. 4D1. 4D1 talks about, sorry, this is 4D1. ITC reclaimed which were reversed under table 4B2 in the earlier tax period. 4B2 is other reversals. So other reversals, if you are reclaiming it, then you have to mention 4D1 only. So 4D2 is ineligible ITC under section 16(4) and ITC restricted due to place of supply rules. So if you are reporting under this instead of 1, then department will issue notice to. So wherever it is appropriate, only use that box only. Don't use the irrelevant box. And if you look at this table, 4A, 4B, 4C, it is use the total input tax rate available. And 4D is only for statistical purposes. It is not go and sit into your calculations. So don't reverse unnecessarily in D. So what is the information about? You want to give further details so that detail has to be used. Otherwise, please don't use it.
Not given in the D, clearly other set.
Then D1 you have to claim. It will not go and sit into your trade list. Only reporting purposes. Only information. Then again you don't give. When you reclaim also don't. When you reverse it, you are not given. When you're reclaiming, don't give it. Then even if you want to report, but the department can ask you when you are reversing. So what we have in a habit of, say, our claim is 50, our ITC is 50 lakhs, we are not eligible for 5 lakhs, then 45 lakhs, that we are claiming. So that will not give full picture. You say 50 lakhs, then reversal 5 lakhs, then it will give a good picture. And you are not claiming excess, but the way in which you have to give the data, that is not going properly. Yes. Some people are saying that all other ITC 45 they are putting directly. Some people are doing that also. They are doing wrong. No problem. Not an issue. This is only statistical reporting purpose, not an issue. Okay. Yes, he has to claim. If he is eligible, he can claim. He's doing correctly. Same.
So,
Next, we'll discuss about other issues. Maybe this is the last slide I have. So by this, we'll close by 5:15 or 5:20, something like non-reporting of RCM transactions. So wherever the transactions relating to GTA, GTS are reporting those transactions and it coming and sitting into your ledger. But sponsorship fees paid, it is not known to the department. Fee paid to advocate, not known to the department. Residential premises used for the purpose of commercial purpose, liable for reverse charge. All these things nobody is reporting, nobody is paying. If you pay it, you will get it as a credit. So please report those transactions. Otherwise, tomorrow we are going to get a big notice, and once you pay the tax under section 74, under section 17, subsection 5, it is a block credit. If I pay RCM, claim it, you are eligible for ITC. If it does not pay, department comes with 74 notice, then it is a block credit. You are not eligible. So to avoid that situation, but let us pay warranty. Yes, sir. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Late to financial 22.
Even 17 minutes. Even 17
Payment rate.
Hmm.
But the time as per place time of supply.
His question is, let everyone get the benefit of this. His question is, the input reverse charge I have to pay in the year 17-18. I have not paid it. I reported the transaction in 22-23 financial year, and I have claimed the input tax credit. Whether I am right or wrong. As per me, it is right. I'll tell you why it is. Section 31 talks about the time of supply with respect to when the documents have to be issued. So in case of invoice, supply of goods along with the goods. In case of services, within 30 days from the provisioning of the service. In case of the in case of refund voucher, it has to be whenever you receive the advance payment voucher, whenever you issue the refund voucher, all these documents, the time is specified. Not self invoice, no time limit is specified.
In case of services, is required to raise a self invoice.
No, you read once. The one section. No time limit is mentioned with respect to self invoice when to issue. So RCM has to pay on self invoice. So there is no time limit. Whenever I issue, that will be the time. Right? He says 60 days is the time limit for as per section 12 or 13. 12. So as per section 12, the time limit is 60 days. From that date to this date, you pay interest. All your input tax is valid. Sir, department, don't worry, sir. You are right. Huh. Sir, 18-19 లో books లో ఉంది. When I have to issue self invoice, when I have to issue payment voucher, whenever I feel, because there is no restriction in the law. You show that section. Because see, the officer is not superior than the legislatures. Legislatures are not superior than the constitution. So he is only a subordinate to the legislatures. How can he go beyond the power given by the legislatures? In case of PSUs, in case of any services provided to government department, government agencies, PSUs and banks, then they'll pay TDS, GST. But most of the people are forgetting to claim that 1% TDS. That is 2%, 1 plus 1, 2%. Please, whenever you provide services to them, please go to form GSTR 8 or 7. GSTR 7, and then you reclaim it. Automatically, the balance will come and check into your cash ledger. For that period, government is not going to any interest. If we utilize, you have to pay interest, but when they hold our money, they will not pay. And one, I think in the previous slide, I forgot to mention that in case of public sector undertakings, what they are doing is they have a lot of procedures in the entity. Purchase order has to be placed, supplier has to be shortlisted, quotation has to be called, quotation has to be L1 to be granted, then he has to give the samples, it will be tested, then goods has to be supplied, the invoice has to be carried, then again testing will take place. The purchasing department who is actually requiring that, he has to take that goods to there, then payment will be made. After complying all these, they are claiming the input tax credit. It will take 2 or 3 years. By 16 subsection 4, they are losing the time. So any one of you is a consultant or the auditor of PSUs, please advise them. As per the time of supply, let them claim the input tax credit, reverse under the others. Then whenever they comply with section 16 conditions, let them reclaim. This is a shortcut they have to. So in this month, whatever is appearing in 2B, let them claim it, totally reverse it. After complying all the conditions of 16.2 for the transaction of 1819 or 2021, now they want to claim it, they can claim. Otherwise, they lose the matching of turnover as per books of accounts versus GST. Please don't try to match them. If your books of accounts are matching with your GST returns, then there is something wrong. Always should not match. Always should be reconciled. That is what GSTR 9C, that reconciliation.
Sir, public sector and
Hmm.
by hearing me, contractors is giving raising the bill, but they are deducting the TDS. For 31st March, they are issuing the invoice, but they are deducting either in the May or in April month. They are deducting TDS.
Sir, don't ask me. They are above the everyone. So we cannot compete with them. You go as per your exam. B2B e-invoice not issued. Sky is not going to fall if it does not issue. Only penalty will be. That will be very minimal. Don't worry. Don't get panic and don't make double invoices by mistake. B2B and B2C e-way bill is not issued. So nothing is going to happen. People are worried, I have not issued e-way bill. Issued invoice but not issued e-way bill. So what is happening? Goods reach its destination? Yes, that's all. E-way bill is only for movement of goods from one place to another place. Once the goods reach their destination, e-way bill has no sanctity. It's a paper, that's all. Only during transit, it has a certain persuasive value. Otherwise, no. After surrendering of registration, certain people are not filing GSTR tax. I advise them within 3 months, file a GSTR tax. It's an omission, wrong omission. And unless you file your GSTR 10, your registration is not going to be completed. Cancellation is not going to be complete. Just as a reminder, I have put this one. Disclosing financial debit notes and credit notes in GSTR 1 by the recipient of supply of goods or services. This is also trash. Junk. He is not required to do that. He is crossing his jurisdiction, doing extra activities. Not clean. Suppliers, please don't consider those transactions. So I am done with my 15 slides. Any questions? Sir, if you go with this true spirit of the law, required, because it is revenue neutral, you are not.
Document number, please.
చాలా ఉన్నాయండి ల్యాబ్స్ ఇట్లా మనం చేసేది. మనం నిజంగా చేసుకుంటూ పోతే బిజినెస్ చేయాలి.
3B ఫైల్ చేసిన తర్వాత 1 ఫైల్ చేసి 3B ఫైల్ చేసినప్పుడు 18 lakhs ఎక్కువ చూపించారు. 5% ట్యాక్స్ 45,000 చేసి 1లోనేమో 18 lakhs తక్కువ చేసి చూపించారు. సో తర్వాత మార్క్స్ చేసేటప్పుడు ట్యాక్స్ అవి చేసేటప్పుడు నెక్స్ట్ ఇయర్ లో చేసుకుని 1 ఏమో 18 lakhs 3Bలో తగ్గించి చూపించారు.
No problem. On the rule, GSTR 1, GSTR 3 matches as a whole. No, that is sufficient. Complaint. But there can be a penalty, but 50,000 penalty. I got the officer which provision he works under it for.
డిసెంబర్లో క్లెయిమ్ చేసాము. ముందు క్లెయిమ్ చేసి అది అని
చెప్పుకోవచ్చు. Provided I told you that your financial statements and your GSTR 9 should speak the same thing. Then no.
The auditor చార్ట్ అకౌంట్ 9C అది పై చేయలేదు సర్వీస్ 9C పై
There is no specific penalty. 50,000. So 25 CGST, 25 SGST, 50,000 will be the general penalty. సో అక్కడ రికన్సిలేషన్ లో చాలా మతలబు ఉన్నాయనుకోండి, ఆ పెనాల్టీ కన్నా ఈ 50,000 చీప్. నాకు అర్థమైన సిచ్యువేషన్. సో థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్ ఫర్ యువర్ పేషెంట్ లిజనింగ్ అండ్ ఐ థింక్ ఐ వాజ్ ఇన్ వితిన్ టైం. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్.
So thank you very much, sir, for those deliberations, and also all the clarifications which have been asked for have been clarified to the satisfaction of the delegates. Friends, since some of you have come from outstations, if you wish to stay at Vijayawada tonight, you please contact. If you have not made your stay arrangements, you please contact Ramesh, who is the employee of the branch. We will talk for a concessional rate for your accommodation. Since 2 or 3 hotels where we regularly engage, they will give concession to the branch. So we can speak to them and arrange a concessional accommodation for you tonight. So once this session is completed, I request if anyone is in need. GSR get free accommodation, Saraf. All right, great. So my past chairperson, G. Srinivas Rao garu, he has the facility. Vidil undi 20 rooms unnai, AC rooms. He will be providing free of charge, and also Swiggy, Zomato is always in your pocket. So yes. So it is some 2 kilometers from here. That's all. ఈ రోడ్ చివరికి వెళ్ళి కొద్దిగా మొదలుకి వెళ్ళి మళ్ళీ సందిరిగితే వచ్చేస్తుంది. వెరీ నియర్ బై. ప్లీజ్ కాంటాక్ట్ అవర్ GSR past chairman. So with that note, I request all of you to come tomorrow also. Very nice sessions are going to be dealt upon, and also we are trying to arrange for delicious food which is more delicious than today. You should excuse me. I thought today was also delicious, and we thought of making some more arrangements for tomorrow. So I request all of you to be here by 9:30 or so for breakfast.
Motivating them to attend.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, we should do some things. As a part of the managing committee, we should definitely see that and encourage people to. Sir, actually, we should tell you, sir, we are very happy in respect of this 2-day seminar, because the number of attendees is also more. when compared to some of the sessions earlier what we have conducted in the last 2 or 3 months. We have a good attendance, and also people from other cities have also joined us for today. So, friends, thank you very much, sir. It was very informative. Now, may I request the chairperson to hand over a memento to the speaker, and also I request past chairman G. Srinivasarao and also the current chairman of the CPE committee of the branch to join this. Rajavara గారు రండి. అనంతపూర్ పాస్ట్ చైర్మన్ గారు మీరు కూడా రండి. సార్ అనంతపూర్ బ్రాంచ్ పాస్ట్ చైర్మన్ సార్, ఇమీడియట్ పాస్ట్ చైర్మన్. సార్ సతీష్ షరాఫ్ గారు ఈజ్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్ ఇన్ GST. మీ బ్రాంచ్ వాళ్ళకు కూడా we can utilize the services. So friends, we will break for today and join tomorrow. We will close the session with national anthem in chorus. Jana Gana Mana Adina. India Himachalaya. Tamashubhanami Jahre Tamash Shiksha. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Stop recording.